Hello there, I'm Will.
I'm Hannah.
Coming at you today with another community Kinstretch class where we're going to really work on building your foundation. So from the floor up, how are your toes and feet and ankles, knees, hips, how are all those pieces working together? So we're going to start off with some standing cars today. So just go ahead and grab onto a wall or a beam, something that's going to provide a little support, and stand tall on the leg that's towards the wall so you feel nice and stable. We're going to do a hip car with your outside leg. So go ahead and bring that thigh on the moving leg up to your stomach as tight as you can and give it a little rotation by bringing your ankle across. You're really trying to explore that end range. We're going to try to start and finish all of our hip cars from here. From here you push your knee out to the side. Then you can start to rotate your thigh as you reach your heel back, sweeping it as far behind you as you can without any other part of your body moving. Bring that knee through, and let's go ahead and keep going in this direction. So tuck the foot over, bring the thigh to the belly, knee goes out to the side, trying to open up your inner thigh. Keep that knee high as you reach your heel back, and then really watch for your back not moving. It's going to try to extend as you bring that leg behind you. All right? And then let's go the other direction. So starting knee to knee, you can start now driving your leg behind you. Lift your shin high to the side. Keep that height as you sweep your leg forward into hip flexion. And then Hannah's doing this great job of bringing the heel all the way across. You'll have to kind of tuck your foot back over to do a second rep. And this rep, focus on the contraction you can find in your midsection and through your standing leg. So you're really rooting through the floor on that standing leg side. Great. Okay, shake it out and go ahead and go to the other side. All right, so take that moment. It's always worthwhile to take that moment and feel your body stiffen up into tension. Feel your standing leg root through the floor, and then pull the thigh to the belly. Once you are sure you can't go any higher, you're going to reach your knee out to the side. Start rotating your thigh and reach your heel back behind you. Now, this is not Hannah's first hip car, not her first rodeo. So she's doing an excellent job of not turning at the pelvis or at the spine, but it's a little tough to feel yourself turn in the standing position. So you want to have a hand on your stomach, or you could place a hand on your lower back and just get a little extra feedback from that area. All the way. And go ahead, pause, knee to knee. Take a breath, solidify your tension again. And here we take it in reverse. Lifting your knee, shin, and ankle up to the side. Sweeping that leg around. All the way around and across your midline. So you try to engage your inner thigh tissue as well. And a final rep here. Very nice. Standing tall, using the wall for a little extra support and brace. And all the way down. Good. Okay. Now you're going to lean back against the wall so you have a little less, a little fewer moving parts. And you're just going to hook your hands right underneath your thigh to provide a little support. And then we're going to work on moving just your knee joint. So to first lock things in, try to pull your toe up towards your kneecap so your ankle is tight. And then pull your heel towards your butt so you're actively flexing your knee. And then from there, start to just rotate your shin back and forth. The muscles that do that rotation live in the back of your thigh. They're your hamstring muscles. So you want to try to feel those with your hand. Okay. Take a few more seconds here to get a feel for what actually is happening as you turn your shin and foot one way and then the other way. Okay. Now settle into an externally rotated position at your knee. So you're really winding that out and keep trying to feel that rotation happening as you start to straighten your leg. And you're going to go to about 90% straight. At that point, internally rotate your shin and pull your heel as tightly as you can back to your butt. And then externally rotate, straighten smoothly, internally rotate, and keep thinking rotation the whole time. Let's keep going here just a few more seconds. Even as you start to bend your knee, continue thinking about rotating your shin, and let's pause there, okay? Take a breath, pull heel to butt tightly and try to internally rotate your knee as much as you can. We're just going to go the other way. So start straightening the leg, externally rotate, bend the knee, and keep going in this direction. Good. Okay. Really trying to get a feel for all the different possible positions for your knee. And this is such a good lesson in why we think cars are so darn important. It's just giving your body the maximum number of ways that it can negotiate the world, especially as you start to walk and climb and move through the world. All right, go ahead and relax there. Let's try the other side. So take again a moment just to feel that rotation first. So you're just feeling your shin go back and forth. As you rotate externally, you should feel more of the hamstrings on the outside. As you rotate internally, more of the hamstrings on the inside. Just starting to map onto that. Okay, and then let's hold an externally rotated position. Bend the knee as tightly as you can. Commit to not moving anything else as you start straightening the leg. Internally rotate the shin and bend the leg. Good. Keep going in this trajectory. If you ever feel like you need to pause, take a moment and get a little bit more feeling insight into a certain position, that's super good idea. There we go. And go ahead, let's hold it there. Feel as much internal rotation as you can and start straightening your leg again now in the other direction. One thing to note as well is that the straighter your leg gets, the less the knee joint can rotate. So you might notice that you get a very small amount of change when your leg is in that more straight position, but then you might be able to add on to that as you bend the knee, as you flex the knee. Let's finish up a final rep. Great. And relax it. Excellent. Okay, last one we're going to do here is your ankle. So come back to your sort of standing position we were using before, bracing against the wall, and reach your straight leg out in front of you. It just has to be a little bit off the floor, but really invest some effort in locking out your knee, feeling your quad, and then we're going to pull that toe up to the kneecap. All right. Now, as you start to go through a big circle with your ankle, just tune into the thigh trying to rotate, and don't let that thigh rotate. As you get a feel for it, you can start drawing larger and larger circles and really tuning into the contraction as it makes its way around your ankle joint and then all the way back. Keep going in this direction, 10 more seconds. Really resisting any twisting in your thigh. And pause there. Let's go the other direction. Very nice. And as always with cars, you can be feeling that contraction even while you're also noticing the stretch feeling. So what side of the joint is opening or getting longer, and what side of the joint is shortening or feeling like contraction? Those are both super spots to put your awareness. Good. It's not very snappy or crackly today. That might happen for you. All right, and you can shake that out. Let's try the other side. So again, a hand on the quad just to feel that kneecap actively pulled up, but also to notice no twisting of the leg as you start. All right, so start toe to kneecap and drawing your biggest circle you can. Okay. As Hannah goes here, you can also notice that the bottom of your foot is tilting, and that is absolutely a positive. We're really trying to explore, again, all the different ways that your ankle can move and really grab all of those positions to own them, to really be able to use them. Good. There we go. On this next rep, when you get toe to knee, pause and go the other way. Getting a little burn in the shin, calf, all that's good stuff.
Crunchy bits.
Crunchy bits. Good. Nice. And wrap up your final car. Very good. Okay. And to change camera angles so that we can get into some ankle specific work, specifically working on the dorsiflexion of your ankle. So Hannah, yeah, just do a little gas pedal up to feel what we're talking about with dorsiflexion. So what we're trying to get here against the wall is a position that you can lean your ankle into a nice stretch. So set that back leg wherever it's comfortable and really try to drive your stretching leg forward. So your knee is basically trying to reach forward over that second toe. And then take a moment to micro adjust your body so that you're targeting a stretch for this tissue in the back of your calf. And you might feel some in your Achilles tendon, you might even feel it in the bottom of your foot. All that is good stuff, okay? So you just want to make your way into that stretch. All right. Now as you feel the stretch, take a few deep breaths and specifically try to ask that tissue to relax a bit. So you can try to let the shin fall towards the toes without letting your heel peel up off the ground at all. Okay. Just giving you a few more moments here to breathe and relax into stretch. Okay. Now from here, you're going to do your best to stay still and not move away from this end range stretched position, but you're going to start thinking of a gas pedal down effort. So start curling your toes into the floor and pushing down with your forefoot. As you continue to push down, adding tension, you should feel contraction in that area we were just stretching, but again, don't let your heel come up off the floor, and ramp up that gas pedal down effort up to about 50%. 70%, and 80%. We're going to just park it at 80%. Good. Now transition from thinking gas pedal down and start thinking gas pedal up instead. Feel the contraction jump over to this side of the joint, into your shin. The effect might be to pull your shin more forward into more stretch, but the active effort is now on the front side of the joint rather than the stretch side of the joint. Keep thinking gas pedal up, 5 more seconds. Try to think, if you can, pulling your toes off the floor and relax. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and come back to that side and we'll switch over to the other side. As you find a stretch on this side, just really settle your foot flat onto the floor. The main issue here usually is that the heel tries to pull up. Yeah, so just try rocking your knee way forward and notice how at some point your heel will come up. Yeah, all right, so we want to just stay clear of that point, but get as much stretch through the back of your calf and lower leg as you can. Okay, now just hang out into a stretch. Now there's a distinct possibility that as you get into this stretch, you might be noticing mostly just discomfort in this side of the joint and not much stretch on that side. And that really indicates that the joint capsule, the innermost part of your ankle joint, is not free enough to move into a stretched position here. And that mostly indicates that you're going to want to do the next exercise that we'll show you and kind of skip these stretches. All right? Okay, so now that you've held this stretch for a bit, let's start working on the Pales rails. You're going to start by curling your toes into the floor, feeling a gas pedal down effort, and let that effort spill into the tissue that we were just stretching. So you're really trying to make that tissue active and alive. Great. Okay, ramp that effort up to 50%, 70%, and 80%. Hold it there at 80%. Really building up that fatigue so it feels like you want to relax and go into a deeper stretch. Let's transition over though into a rails contraction. Start thinking gas pedal up, pulling your shin forward as you try to think of pulling your toes up off the floor. And the active effort there might just increase the stretch that you feel in your calf. That would be a great target. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Good. All right, let's go back to standing. And I'm going to have Hannah turn towards the camera so we can just get some of these capsule cars in, and then we'll get some more stretching. So the idea here is to actually just work on the ability of your ankle to tilt back and forth. So you're really going to hone in on the parts of your ankle on each side. But let's start by lifting the toes up off the floor. The heel can stay down. And then as you tilt the bottom of your foot one way, notice that side of the joint tighten and this side lengthen. And then as we tilt the bottom of the foot the other way, notice the opposite. This side lengthens, this side shortens. Keep going back and forth here, 30 seconds, and really try to maximize the tilt that you can get in the bottom of the foot while minimizing the amount of side to side that you're getting with the toe. So it's really just the tilt that we're after. Good. Hannah has pretty stretchy ankles. You might notice quite a bit less motion. That's okay, especially if you're getting any of that pinching or discomfort on the front of the joint. You might have some limitation here, but this is a great way to start working on that. Good. There you go. Go ahead and let that ankle go. Let's get the other side. Pulling the toe up, start to tilt the bottom of your foot. Go slowly at first. I always notice when people start new cars, they have a tendency to want to rush through them. And really the benefit is going to come from connecting with the sensation that you're feeling in terms of what muscles are actually pulling you into each position. So just take your time at first. Really get a clear feeling going on. Each side might be different. You might have noticed a pinch on one ankle but not on the other ankle. We are fully asymmetrical beings, that's for sure. Great. Last couple reps here. Good. All right, and relax. We're going to do one more round of that ankle stretching. So this time, before you even drive your knee forward, I want you to try to open your toes up wide. Try to stretch out the bottom of your foot. So you can lift your heel and just try to stretch out the bottom of your foot. And then, as you place your toes down and really anchor onto the floor, you might get a little bit more clear sensation of stretch as you drive your knee and shin forward and really wedge yourself into a stretch of all of that tissue on the back of the ankle. Okay. Now, one other change to this round is that when we start to do our Pales contraction, that is a gas pedal down feeling, I'm going to ask you to try to load more of your whole body weight onto that foot. So it's almost like you're doing like a single leg squat, but you're not going to move, okay? So find your end range stretch, really lean that knee as far forward as you can without the heel peeling up, and then very lightly start curling your toes into the floor. Think gas pedal down, and gradually start building that effort. So you're slowly adding effort of gas pedal down. As you get up there around 50% effort, start trying to bring more of your body weight onto your forefoot so that you're really loading that tissue even more than you were last round. Keep building effort up to 70%, 80%, and your greatest safe effort here. How much pressure can you put through the floor? 5, 4, 3, 2, transition now to rails contracting. Try to pull your shin forward more, keeping that heel anchored, but really trying to gas pedal up now. Fight for that. Look for any cramping that you can find here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Melt it away. Find that stretch, and then relax out of it. Let's get the other side. Nice. Okay, same thing on this side. Really feeling open on the bottom of your foot, and then drive your knee forward into a stretch. Great. Settle yourself in, micro adjust. You might feel more stretch if you bring the knee slightly in or slightly out. All of those are fair game. You just want to find the most delicious stretch that you can today. All right. Now from here, let's start curling the toes into the floor. Add on to that a gas pedal down effort. light at first so you have room to grow. And as you bring it up through 40%, 50%, start to add more of your body weight to the mix. So try to really bring your body's weight onto that foot and continue ramping up your gas pedal down effort. Hannah's shaking just a little bit. That's a good indicator of her whole body being on tension. Bring it all the way to your greatest safe effort. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Transition over into a rails contraction now. So you're trying to think gas pedal up, contracting all of the tissue on the front side of the joint. Good. Use that effort to try to increase the stretch on the back of the joint. And let's hold this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and melt it away. Good. Okay, let's go ahead, turn back towards the camera, and we're going to get one more set of those ankle capsule cars. Again, just pulling the toe up, feeling the bottom of your foot tilt side to side. And this is such an important step after we do any pails rails, is to let the brain re-engage and reconnect with how things might be a little bit different at this ankle joint now. So it's a great kind of habit to get into. After you do some pails rails work, throw in some capsule cars for the joint that you were working on. Good. Really trying to feel as much shortening as you can on the shortening side of the joint. Good, and relax. Let's do the other side, 30 seconds here. I like to think almost like my foot is in a stirrup and I'm pulling up one side of the stirrup and then the other side of the stirrup, and that's what tilts the bottom of my foot. There you go. Good. And always keep in mind, we're looking for incremental change. So really zoom in and go slow. Try to look for the new sensations that might be there after we do this mobility work. Great. All right, and let's relax it. We're going to now move to some toe cars. So specifically trying to move single joints at a time. Unlike the other cars, we're not going to do a lot of rotation and whatnot. We're just simply going to try to connect to what's going on here. So start by, again, curling both sets of toes into the floor and keep that curl and pull feeling going on in the little toes. All right, we're going to just work on moving the big toes. Start lifting the big toes up without letting the little toes move, and just hold it there for a second. Try to feel that contraction all the way up to your knee, because that's where the muscle lives that moves your big toe. All right? And then with control now, start to set the big toe down and back up and down like that. Now if you're trying this at home and you're noticing like no movement on one or both toe, you might use your hand to just assist, and you can go ahead and sit down on the floor and use your hand like that. Okay, go ahead and lift your toe one more time and hold it there. Now we're going to keep that contraction going, holding the big toes, and now start bringing the little toes up to meet. How high can you lift the little toes? Good. Now keeping the big toes elevated, bring those little toes down and back up and down, waving at the camera, waving at the TV. We can see you through the TV, just so you know. Good. Okay, and then hold those toes up, all of them. You'll notice that that big toe is able to come up a little more when it has friends. There's a lesson there. Okay, and then keep the keep the little toes up as high as you can, and then start bringing the big toe down to the floor. Trying to tap it as precisely as you can, and back up. Up and down with as little motion as possible in the other toes. Good. You can see Hannah's right foot really wants to jump in, so you would just grab onto those toes, provide it with a little bit of a passive support as you work on the control with your big toe. Last one. Good. Good. Now on this Final rep, pin that big toe down to the floor. Really actively pin it. Try to cramp the arch of your foot and then bring the little toes down one at a time if you can, from the pinky all the way in. Good, and then keep the big toe down, lift all the little toes up. Good. Now if you've never done these before, the first step is just to try to start sending that signal. But if you have done these before, I want you to continuously look for how you can build control. Where is there uncontrolled motion going on, in the big toe or in the little toes? And can you move a little bit slower? Can you keep the non-moving parts of your foot a little more still? Let's do one last rep, really trying to play the pinky toe piano, one key at a time, all the way down. Nice job. Now we're going to try to draw the biggest clock that we can at each of those points. So I'm going to invite you to start dropping down for each tap. So you drop down to tap the 12, then you come back up. Drop down to tap the 3, and then back up. All right? Let's go ahead and do a few reps on this leg, and then we'll do a few on the other leg. So drop down, tap the 12. Nice. You might not be getting quite as low as Hannah, but each position you want to try to reach as far as you can with that moving leg. Good. Even into this curtsy position, kind of a wonky position, but does some great, offers some great forces through the knee and ankle that are really important to contend with. Good. Push that big toe into the floor. Find how it helps with your stability. Feel as it turns more on in the leg. There you go. And in between each, coming upright to just sort of catch your breath, regain your balance. Good. All right, we got one more rep. There we go. Embrace that little burn that you're finding in the standing leg. Keep moving smoothly. If you lose your balance, that's totally fine. Just kind of re-grab, move a little smoother. Good. Take your time with these. And there we go. Last one. Hannah's going to get her last curtsy in here. Okay. Very nice. Shake it out. Let's try the other side. Now, one thing to note, this becomes easier the harder the surface you're on. So we're on a little bit of a mat here. That feels good on knees, but it can make balance a little more tough. So if you're on a thick rug, you might try to just move on to like a hardwood floor or a tile floor. All right, and let's drop down, get 3 reps on each position here. Good. And part of why we love this movement so much is that it's a kind of a build from the mobility work that we were just doing for the ankle and toes, but it really also is just simply a single leg squat. So starting to connect those pieces is so important so that your strength training work and your mobility work and the walking that you do outside, all of those pieces fit together. They're all part of the same continuum. There we go. Keep sitting back into it, not just forcing your knee to do the drop down to the floor, but really using your hip as well. Keeping that standing foot completely flat on the floor and actively pressing your big toe into the floor. Very nice. There it is. All right, we'll leave it there. Nice work, team, and we will see you soon.